Joining us on News Across Nigeria now is the National Association of Resident Doctors, Dr. Uyi Okaisui. Thank you for joining us on the program. Yes, not only has the... So not only has the Minister of Health said that you don't have, that it's a state issue and not a federal government issue, but you have to return to work. What's your reaction to this statement by the Minister of Health?
As of 116 days before now, we gave the federal minister an ultimatum to go on the strike. The strike was based on some things we factored as being wrong done by the on the 31st of January 2021, we gave an ultimatum stating some clear things that are involving resident doctors in Nigeria. I'll give an example. He said that the 5 things that we're talking about is for the state hospital, which is clearly very, very wrong. First of all, we not lost 19 members to COVID-19, and up to now, as we speak, none of them have got any death in service insurance. That is not state government, that is federal government. Members on the gift mix platform that have been owed between 3 to 6 months salaries and are still not being captured is done by the federal government, not state government. They agree with me that that is not state government. Members that are supposed to the House officers, 114 of them are still not being paid salaries, ranging from 3 to 7 months. And that is not done also by the federal government, by the state government, it's done by the federal government. The head of service of the Federation of Nigeria put out the circular removing them from the scheme of service. And we are aware that it's not from the state institutions. I think it is a very wrong notion when the Minister of Health goes to give false information to Nigerians. We have not had any contact with the Federal Minister of Health up till now. And I can tell you the only contact we have had from them is more of a threat message telling us that we cannot go on a strike. It's 116 days as it speaks, and nothing about being done about the ultimatum given to them. So they should stop feeding Nigerians with wrong information and tell the Nigerians that over 116 days, they have failed in their obligations to Nigeria. They should not be holding resident doctors responsible for their failures in what they have done. So I beg to differ in anything he has said.
To work tomorrow, as he said, and are there the issues that he says, are there any issues that the federal government says that they are addressing and that's in the process of being implemented? You mentioned 5 issues that are in the process. Is it true that those issues are being looked at and it just requires probably some patience? And are you going to return to work tomorrow?
Yeah, I'm not hearing it too well, but I'll say something clearly, sir. There are 7 items based on the strike ultimatum we give to them. We'll start with the debt and service insurance. As of now, as we speak, no member of the 19 aid to the next of kin. That aside, the medical resident training fund was said to be going to be part of the budget as of 2020. As we speak, we had to beg them to allow us at least get it in the supplementary budget. And up till now, we have not got anything telling us about the medical resident fund in the supplementary budget. As we speak, sir, the minimum wage arrears owed to members have not still been paid. The shortfalls of salaries for 2014, 2015, 2016 have not been paid. The hazard allowance of 5,000 naira been paid to all our members has still not been paid. When we know that in the upper chambers, they get hardship allowance of 1.2 million naira. So going back to the facts, 116 days is enough time for a responsible government to adhere to the ultimatum and try and let us get results. Not put Nigerians in problems where they are not made to face because they can travel and afford to travel abroad to get health care.
That certainly seems like a very dire situation concerning the salaries that are being owed. But as far as the public is concerned, would you, on say, sympathetic grounds, consider a different tact, given that you know that there's a resurgence of COVID-19, and as well as other patients who are suffering from other problems who can't get medical attention? Is there any way you can help the people as opposed to also getting the attention of the federal government?
As far as salaries are concerned, these are just mere part of the situation in Nigeria. Yes, we know that members in the state institutions are being owed to our members. Imo State owing 8 months salaries, Ondo State owing 4 months salaries, and Ekiti State owing 2 months salaries. But however, there's no better time for this. You can't have given 116 days to the government to make things right. We complain of brain drain. We know that in other clients, you have good insurance, you have good mortgages to pay your rent. Your children go to school and pay little or nothing. But in Nigeria here, you cannot tell a doctor or tell the owner of a house that you cannot afford to pay his rent because you have not been paid 7 months or 19 months salary. How can you tell them that you cannot give your children meals to eat where you're not able to meet up with your responsibility? In other clients, budget of the health sector ranges between more than the 3.7 to 4% that we're given in Nigeria. You go to Ghana, you go to South Africa, talk more of other places in the world. The highest mortality rate, maternal child rate, is gotten in Nigeria as we speak. What have they done about it? We should be aware that poverty, hunger, kills more than COVID-19.
Okay, but let me ask you the question in a different way now. You know what they say, when the elephant fights, the grass that suffers. Is there anything that could be put in place as a stopgap measure for people who have life-threatening conditions in hospitals now and who are going to suffer and who are already suffering from the strike by the resident doctors? You know you have the Hippocratic Oath, am I correct? And all of that, so that while you're negotiating with the federal government, who know you're serious by now, is the 4th day of the strike, the people as well could be catered for, maybe skeletal services or some other measures to help people who are in dire straits in the hospitals.
I'm not hearing your question too well, but I'll zoom and try and answer.
Let me ask you again. Can you hear me now?
There's no better time.
Can you hear me now?
We don't need to be using strike as our last resort.
Okay.
And it's quite unfortunate that Nigerians are made to suffer because of the failure of the federal government. Federal government narrowing it down is the health sector. The Minister of Health, the PAM sector, knew that we had an ultimatum. We met them about 2 weeks ago and told them and reminded them that we have an ultimatum that's going to expire on the 26th of July to on the 30th. As you speak.
Okay, Doctor, thank you so much.
Nothing was done about it.
Thank you so much for your time, Dr. Uyi Ahakwesuyi, the National Association of Resident Doctors. Thank you for coming on News Across Nigeria.